Hello, my name is April Fitzpatrick and I will be presenting to you today. I am also representing the work done by my group members Dan, Dillon, and Bethany Sandone. The problem we are addressing is flooding on the Virginia Tech Drillfield. We have researched solutions to the problem and would like to inform you of our research and overall recommendations. As previously stated, we are addressing the problem of flooding on the Virginia Tech Drillfield. We chose this problem because we are students here at Virginia Tech and have personally suffered the consequences of the flooding. We also interviewed other students and members of the community for their opinions, and they agree that this is a problem that needs attention. We found several solutions that could be put into place, such as piping, porous walkways, and green infrastructure. After all of our research, we have decided to recommend a combination of implementing porous walkways and adding more vegetation to the field to prevent flooding. The research methods we used included understanding the problem, researching other members of the community's views on the issue, researching methods to alleviate the problem, and finally analyzing the options to choose the best solution. For the first task, we knew our problem was the drillfield flooding, but we needed to understand why. When researching, we asked ourselves, what was the slope of the field, what causes the flooding, and can the flooding be prevented? For the second task, we wanted to gather student and faculty opinions of the flooding. We did so by conducting interviews with students living on and off campus. The questions we asked were, how often do you cross the drill field? Has flooding ever affected you, and if so, how many times would you say? And finally, would you benefit from the problem being fixed? Our third task was to research ways people have solved similar problems. Our method was to find at least 10 sources that informed us about flooding scenarios and the solutions that followed. We needed diverse sources such as websites, journals, books, and interviews. The final task we completed was analyzing the options and selecting the best one. Our approach for this task was to find multiple solutions and then weigh the pros and cons based on our personal situation. Some items that needed to be taken into account included scale of the solution, the feasibility, the cost, time, and maintenance. We then conducted research for each of the set-out tasks and will now provide the results. For understanding the problem, we found that the drillfield floods due to the shape and elevation of it. It is a small valley which allows water to pool because of its bowl-like shape. Also, the constant walking, biking, and running across the field over the years has caused the soil to compact, making it harder for rainfall to infiltrate the ground. After performing our interviews with the students and faculty, we discovered that the flooding is a problem that affects many students and staff. Many complained about it affecting them at least once per year. When researching solutions, we found that changing the walking paths of the drill field could make a difference. If the material of the paths were changed to a porous concrete over a deep bed of gravel, this would allow gallons of water to pass through. We also found that French drains are a popular solution. They are flexible tubing attached to downspouts that move the water into an underground collection area. The final solution that we researched was green infrastructures. These include trees, shrubs, and other forms of vegetation. Trees reduce runoff by capturing and storing rainfall in the canopy and then releasing the water into the atmosphere. Trees can also help water to infiltrate compacted soil more easily. Next, we analyzed our options to draw conclusions. From our research, we found that the most effective solution would be to install French drains, porous drill field paths, or green infrastructure. We found that French drains are effective at dealing with low amounts of rainfall, but are ineffective at dealing with large amounts of rain and are also expensive to install. For these reasons, we would not recommend the French drain solution. The university has already been considering installing new paths for the drill field, so we suggest that when they do repave these paths, they choose a path material that would be effective at absorbing water. Green infrastructure would also be a low-cost solution that would improve drainage and decrease runoff. It would also add a little bit extra beauty to our already beautiful campus. Our final recommendation is that the Virginia Tech Facilities Department take action and install a green infrastructure with porous pathways to reduce flooding on the drill field. This solution meets the majority of the conditions we wanted to take into consideration. The scale of the solution is appropriate for the drill field, it is feasible, the cost of vegetation and porous material are far less expensive than that of new piping like the French drain solution would have accounted for, and the solution has the ability to be long-term if maintained properly. The image on this slide is an example of green infrastructure. Here's an image of what a porous pathway is composed of. You can see the initial layer of porous material, whether it be pavers, concrete, or asphalt, followed by the layers of stone and gravel that will capture the water. The following are the references that we used throughout the project, including any of the images you saw within the presentation. I hope you will take into consideration what we have presented today. If you need to reach us, you can contact us at this email address. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to our report.